What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day, and if you're new to the channel and want to hit the subscribe button, that would be awesome. It has been a very long time since I put out a Prelude video. I have been waiting such a long time for this install to happen due to the whole pandemic and COVID. All of my, orders have been delayed in shipping, but just the other week I got everything else I needed for today's install. So today we will finally be putting out some Prelude content. Today we will be upgrading the whole brake system, replacing the .3 fluid to Multool .4. We will be changing out the rubber lines to Goodridge Steel braided lines, upgrading the brake pads to Hawk's 5.0 series pad, which I'm running on the Skyline, and also we'll be upgrading the rotors to Stoptech slotted. So we have all the new parts for today's install. I believe these are, yes, the front rotors. Took like a month and a half to get these after Stoptech sent me the wrong rotor. Here we got the rears of nice quality Multool, ordered online. I ordered all this stuff off of JHP USA. That is where I have gotten most of my Honda parts. So hit them up if you need anything. Goodridge steel braided lines. Originally I went with Stoptech lines, but their ETA for the rears were another 10 weeks out, so these correspond just as well. And then I really like these pads in my Skyline, so I thought I'd try them on the Prelude Hawk 5.0s. The most essential tool you need, other than a 10 mil potentially, is double and flared nut wrenches or tube line wrenches. These will guarantee you don't strip any of the brake line, female ends. Highly recommend, just get these at Harbor Freight. They're like $7. Again, highly recommend. Should be a fairly simple install. My buddy Warren is coming over to help me bleed the brake system once we are done. I know the rears might be a little bit challenging because I know they are a special tool that you screw on to decompress the piston inside the caliper. I believe I do have that, but if not, we'll just run to the parts store. But again, Prelude, sorry I neglected you. Let's go ahead and get this install going. Air up the car, put her on jack stands, making sure all of our mounting points are secure, and we'll just bust this out real quick, and I will show you step by step what to do if you are new to this. Step one complete, got the Prelude on jack stands, wheels off. Thank you, Warren. So pretty straightforward. We will be replacing this rubber line. It is from 1990. Not doing so hot. Here you'll use those tube line wrenches. Makes life significantly easier. Pretty good. Pop up the caliper. We got 2 bolts to the knuckle here, up top and on bottom. The top here, you'll just have to undo one of them so it slides open. This rotor, pretty old. Yeah, pretty sus. It's like the first new rotor I put on this car like years ago too. And then for the rear here, we got a banjo line, old rubber line. Take it off from there. Amazon hub-centric spacers, highly recommend these. So those of you asking me how the new sway bars are, they are great. Also, my air ride is for sale. Hit me up, willing to negotiate on price. So we'll go ahead and drain the brake fluid all out, and then we will begin to undo all of our OEM brake lines. All right, so with the base here, got as much as I could off the brake master reservoir. Pretty good. Now we'll go ahead and commence undoing all of the lines. So the size of this bolt here to the banjo line is going to be a 14 millimeter, and then up here to this female side will be a 10. Update, so again, got the banjo bolt out. Looks like so. Go ahead and give this a nice clean of the threads. You got this bracket here that supports the OEM line. That's going to be a 12. And then we also got the hard line to the brake line out. Just go ahead, there is a bracket here, so go ahead and use a set of pliers or these guys and go ahead and pull that out, which will alleviate pressure to remove the OEM brake line. All right, so 2 bolts here to the bracket of the caliper will be 17, and then again, these 2 will be 14. Plenty of life left on these pads. Here I got some Brembo drilled, they held up. Compare it to the nice Stoptech slotted. Unwrap these joints. Oof, beautiful. All right, cool. So we'll go ahead and clean this up with some brake clean up all of the threads and around the area, reinstall, and we'll move on to the next side. So here we have the Goodridge Steel braided lines. These are actually of very nice quality. It's nice because they label it, it'll focus. Front, we got some rears, and these look like they line up to stock mounting location. Update, so Warren and I got the 5.0 hawk pads on. A lot of surface area on the rotor is covered. Eventually I'll paint these or swap these out to NSX pads when I want to run a more aggressive, I want to say wheel setup when I buy some Kiwamis again for the Prelude. Actually, let's put these on right now. Might as well get those NSX calipers. So all we have left to do is to install the steel braided lines. Quick tip when installing the banjo line bolt. So you got 1 copper washer will go to the caliper, then of course the bolt in between, followed by another copper sealing washer. Update, so we got the passenger side front done, rotor on, again brake pads are obviously on, bolts to the bracket of the caliper, torque to spec, to the top of the caliper bolted down. We got the banjo line and bolt nice and fitted, as well as the OEM bracket here, and also the male and female fitting on top. Now let's go ahead and move to the other side, and then we'll go ahead and knock out the rears. Update, just got the front driver's side done. Everything torqued down to spec. Male and female side done. Banjo bolt. Get this pretty tight, but don't kill yourself doing it because you don't want to strip it. Everything else is pretty good. Cannot wait. Ooh, it's already sound like they're gonna grip really good. I do plan on driving the Prelude a lot more, I promise. Next, what we have to do is the rear, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video. This might be a little bit more challenging because there's a special tool you use to, I think, crank counterclockwise to decompress the piston inside, but we'll figure it out. Should be pretty, hopefully easy. Got all the bolts soaking in PB Blaster right now. All right, moving on to the rear. Warren and I decided to get dinner as our intermission, so got all the bolts soaked in PB Blaster so it's easier for us to get out. Got your top male fitting to female here. There's your clip. Bracket on the inside of the spindle here. Might be challenging to get out. Will be connected here to this banjo bolt. You got your 2 bolts somewhere in the back there. Again, I believe there's a special tool you need to decompress the piston, which I did see I have, so we'll go ahead and take everything out and reassemble everything. All right, so Warren and I got the caliper off, rotor off, got the OEM rubber line off. You'll be at this step now, undoing the bracket to the caliper here. Here is the e-brake cable, no need to worry about that. But here is that piston I was telling you about that you need to decompress because it's not like a normal piston. We got like this cube with different attachments on. And so you can pick this up at any O'Reilly's or AutoZone, but you have to screw this either clockwise or counterclockwise. Update, got the rear passenger done. Was kind of a challenge fitting back the caliper because of the lack of room back here, but got all the lines fitted accordingly. I would highly suggest you utilize the stock bracketry here, and remember is to give yourself a little bit of slack on both the front and rear side as well. Definitely Goodridge, would definitely recommend their system. Haven't tried it yet, but in terms of fitment, everything lines up great. Gonna go ahead and give this side a second look over, and then we'll knock out the rear driver's side. Update, got the rear driver's side completed. Everything tore down to spec. Lines aren't binding up. Everything is good. All left to do now is to bleed the system again from furthest to the closest to the brake reservoir. Go in a Z formation. Go ahead and bleed the system and double check our work, and we should be just about good with this install. All right, Warren and I successfully got the braking system bled. We did 2 sessions with about 10 to 15 pumps per corner. No more air in the line. Everything is good. No leaks, thank God. These look fantastic. Again, these are Stoptech slotted rotors, one with the Hawk 5.0 pads and the Goodridge Steel braided lines. I cannot wait to start driving the Prelude again. I am transitioning out of my stance phase and going into more of a street track phase. So I do want to kind of drive this car a little bit harder than I normally do. Again, shout out Warren for all the help. You are the man. If you guys have any questions, please be sure to shoot me a message in the privately on YouTube or my Instagram or in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. I am not going to be driving the car right now. I will do the burnish period once I have my wheel situation figured out. Currently going to be doing a brushed finish on my work Rezac 1s, so that should be fun. And also I will be fixing my oil pan leak with some Honda Bond. So I'm just gonna keep it in the air for my convenience. So next on my to-do list for maintenance is upgrade the rubber bushings to all polyurethane bushings for my suspension, as well as swap out all of the control arms because they're old. I also want to paint them too and get my undercarriage looking nice and pretty to prep myself when I finally do the motor and trim swap on the Prelude, which I am incredibly stoked for. Also waiting on one more part from ESP, my traction bar. It's actually been a full year since I placed that order, and boy's not hitting me back, but we do have the polyurethane mounts. Actually, the quality is really good. I would highly recommend if you don't mind waiting. But again, just waiting on my traction bar, and once I get that in, hopefully soon, we can install the motor mounts and traction bars and the T-bar, and then go ahead and search for my new motor and trans. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for all the continuous support. And if you're new to the channel and want to hit the subscribe button, that'd be awesome. And remember, aim high, drive low. We'll catch you next video. Take care.